Off the leash, off and running. Browns 17-16 losers to the Cincinnati Bengals. In week one, post-game edition, our first one of these here of the season. Thanks for coming in. Mark Schwab, Leah Doherty, Ashley Holder, Fred Greetham from the OBR paying us a visit. Guys, we used to start with a true-false question. We're going to start that way this year as well. After what we just saw, the Browns found a way to lose. True-false, the Browns will not win a game in September.
How many more games do they have in September? When does September end? 2 more?
They got 3 more. It's the next 3.
No, I think they'll win a game in September.
Okay.
Now, I understand by saying that.
At Baltimore,
I understand.
host Green Bay, at Detroit.
Yes, I understand that. I know it doesn't look good. I know the beginning of the schedule is tough. However, I don't know. I just feel like Browns are always the team to where they have the capability to win or lose just about any game. It feels like, and they were in this game. They completely gave this game away. I know we'll get into it. There were so many self-inflicted wounds, but yeah, you hope that they're going to learn from it, and hopefully Joe Flacco can go to Baltimore, go back to his roots, and get a win.
That's the thing about the NFL. I mean, it's like you expect a team to lose, they win, and vice versa, and that's where, I think they'll steal a win here in the next 3 weeks some way, somehow.
Yeah, I'd probably have to say, that's a toughie because Ravens, I'm not giving them.
Even
Lions
in Flacco's return?
Yeah, no, I'm still not going to give them that one. But maybe I would say they're going to either steal Packers or Lions. I mean, those are the only 2 options that they would be able to take.
I do think.
Yeah, I could see Green Bay.
Wow.
Green Bay did shut down Detroit today too, so that's kind of scary too. But I figure that it's got to be one of those 2 games. I don't give them the Ravens unless magically everyone just gets beat up from the Ravens tonight against the Bills for Sunday Night Football.
All right, so they lose at 17-16 in a Brownsian way. It's certainly not their worst opening loss. Dwayne Rudd forever on that one. But this is right up there. You lose by 1 because you missed the extra point. You missed the go-ahead field goal. You should win 20-16. Not here, not now.
Felt like a Browns way to lose just because, right, they move on from Dustin Hopkins. It's this ever-changing, much like quarterback of, do we have a kicker? It was Cade York, and then we have Dustin Hopkins, and now we're going with Andre Schmidt, who had never kicked in an NFL game before, and made his first field goal, but we missed the PAT, missed the field goal. Both of them were wide right, and we had the chance to talk to him in the locker room after the game and just kind of get his idea of what went wrong, but also how you flush that and move on.
Just kind of rush in my approach and just push the ball, and I got to do better. I expect better of myself, so got to forget about it and move on to the next week. Watch the film, see what really went wrong. I mean, that's kind of just what it felt like, and forget about it and give myself 24 hours, analyze what happened, and move on.
You can't put the entire loss on just the kicker, but God, it's so hard to not be like, but if he would have just made that extra point.
Go ahead. Put the entire loss on the kicker.
But also if the offense would have been better, if there wouldn't have been as many drops, if the defense wouldn't have allowed as many points, right? There's so many different things that add up to it, to a 1-point loss.
I can lay out a bunch of reasons. Does anybody have on their bingo card if you would have been told that Joe Burrow would be held to 113 yards, the rushing game 46 yards, the Browns would dominate the possessions? You look at the statistics, and it totally was dominated by the Browns, and you can, even with the kicker, Harold Fannin drops a 3rd down pass for a 1st down. The next play, Jerry Jeudy in their territory drops a 4th down pass. And then you had the 2 interceptions in the hands of Jerry Jeudy and in the hands of Cedric Tillman. I mean, right then and there, I mean, Joe Flacco took the high road and said he's got to throw it better. But catch the ball, it's back to the Dennis Northcutt. He catches the ball, they win the game.
Right.
I mean, even the kicker is going to make something there if they have 3 or 4 opportunities. But that's unfortunate that he does that. But you look at the defense, I feel dominated. They just didn't get a takeaway. That was the only thing they didn't do.
But that's always been their case, though. They haven't been able to get a lot of takeaways, and that can't continue to still be the problem because without it, they're not going to be able to go that far or be that type of elite defense. But I do want to say, justice for Dustin Hopkins. Justice.
We could do a whole entire podcast on this.
You're
Justice
suggesting Dustin should have been the one out there missing the kicks?
Let me say this. I mean, listen, I totally get that he's going to have his mistakes, and that's going to happen probably with any position. So I totally do understand that. But I think when you can't trust your kicker and you're going down the field and you're like, okay, now we're in the point where we have to score because we cannot trust him to make a 23-yarder, a 35-yarder, whatever it might be. I think that puts you in a really tough position. I think at least with Dustin, they weren't feeling that way. This was a tough one from the PAT, then turning around and also missing a critical field goal. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying like the guy's never going to get a chance, but if he goes to the Ravens and this same thing happens, this cannot happen. You need to figure something out.
It can,
it's
and
not
it
gonna
does.
work.
I got a reference. Fred mentioned the stats. Some of this is just mind-blowing. Total yards, Browns 327 to 141 for Cincinnati. Time of possession, 35-41 in favor of the Browns to 24-11 for the Bengals. First downs, 22 to 11. It's the 2 turnovers. That's the big swing there. But, I mean, they went for it on fourth down 3 times. They converted twice. You look at these numbers after the game, building on, you look at Burrow's low production, and you're like, man, Browns are winning this game like 24, 27 to 13 or something like that. And this will be one of them we talk about over the course of the year as how in the world did they lose this game? And it is an organization and a team that we frequently find ourselves asking, how in the world did they lose this game, especially on a day where you get plays from Dylan Sampson and Harold Fannin. Nobody had and 35, was it Rock Sampson?
Rocket,
yeah.
Rocket, the Rocket.
Sanders.
Rocket Sanders, the Dylan Sampson and Fannin-led offense, and they go right down the field on the first drive. You're like, literally no one had that. Those 3 guys didn't have that drawn up in their head.
They had 4 rookies contribute on that first drive. In addition, Isaiah Bond, and the thing about this is that this could go a long way. They had 6 big games out of 6 rookies today. And sure, they made mistakes, but Schlesinger led them in tackles. Graham, started his first game, had 3 tackles, but those offense, I think that's a good sign. He had the 1 drop from Fannin, but he led the team with 9 targets and had 7 catches. Sampson had 8 catches. I mean, the silver lining is you were counting on Quinshon Judkins. He was going to be the bell cow, and Sampson the third down out of the backfield. You got the third down out of the backfield. You need the bell cow. That's what they didn't have was the between the tackle running game today.
And we did have a chance. I don't know what all we have, Ashley, but I know we had a chance to speak to some of the young guys, too, that did have those standout performances.
Oh, who knows if, it was intended to be like that, but, blessed to start the game, and I think just – My old coach used to say the ball finds energy. So that's all I try to do when I get the ball in my hands, maximize every single play. So I think as the game went, forward, Joe, guys on the team, coaches felt comfortable, with me having the ball. And, I just want to maximize every play.
That was Dylan Sampson there. Ashley and I were both in the locker room with him. And the number one thing we noticed after speaking with him is he seemed so positive and upbeat, even after, a loss like that, even how frustrating it was. You could see to where he was like, I can do this. I had asked him about the speed of the game, and he was like, honestly, the defense we go against every day in practice, he was like, I didn't have a welcome to the NFL moment. I didn't feel like the speed dramatically shifted. He's like, no, I also avoided taking a big hit today, so that may come later. But he was like, you could just tell he was like, no, we have a positive outlook moving into this. We can turn things around. This was just one game.
Well, again, I expect nothing less from a Tennessee ball. I expect nothing but high praises for someone like that. No, but seriously, I think he should feel good after this game because he played phenomenal. I think with Quinshon possibly coming back next week or whenever he does come back, I think he's been able to so far solidify himself like he is a good back. He should be used. And the question is, what kind of happens with that? Are we splitting or where are they going to
Jerome Ford
Jerome Ford, all that. So, I'm really excited to see that because I think that they have been very adamant about getting back to the run game. And I think they showed that today. We are serious. We're trying to get back to it. It looked good. They're still missing a very big piece that we don't know technically what he can do. We've seen what he's been able to do at Ohio State, but we don't know what he can do on an NFL field. So I think right now, Deuce and company should be very happy at least of what they were able to see because he was basically leading in every single category. And they were talking about how they wanted to, include them all in the pass game as well. And outside of Jerry getting a couple, a catch towards the end of the game and picking up a couple yards, I mean, he was leading in yards as well for receiving.
Yeah, 93 all-purpose yards for his first NFL game, and that's what I said. I mean, you can really see bread and butter, and I think that change of pace along, you get the battering ram of Judkins in there, could almost be like Travion Henderson and Judkins at Ohio State. I think that 1-2 punch is huge. They have the 2. I think you need the 1. Ford didn't have much of a game today, and so I do think that was the offseason plan, and it's been derailed so far. So I think that'll be a big jolt for the running game to get Judkins back.
There's so many ways you look at this game and you say, I can't believe they lost it. One of the biggest to me we're going to talk about in just a minute. Hey, remember Off the Leash? Get it where you get your podcasts. Like, subscribe, comment, 5-star review. We love them. Thanks. Guys, you talk about the ways you look at this game and you're like, I can't believe they lost. I'm going to go back to, it was the fourth quarter. The Browns had just punted. The Bengals had a 1st and 10 at their own 20. Myles Garrett ripped off back-to-back sacks for 6-yard losses, and then they had another sack after that. It wasn't Myles. I can't remember who it was.
Isaiah McGuire.
3 sacks for a total of negative 18 yards. The Bengals punted. The Browns go down the field, miss a field goal. The Bengals go 3 and out. The Browns get the ball back and then have the goofy tipped interception. If you're going to say you're going to get 3 sacks to drive them to their goal line, it was amazing he got out of that and didn't get a safety. You're going to sack them nearly into a safety from the 20. Then you're going to go down and line up for a field goal. Then you're going to have a 3 and out. Then you're going to get the ball back again. And they still lost.
He barely got out of the end zone. They would have won 18-17. That might have been their only shot there. You know, if McGuire could have kept him in the end zone.
It is astounding. And, you know, that's the part that is so frustrating, and everyone's frustrated. It's not a rookie head coach. It's not a rookie quarterback. It's not a bad offensive line. It wasn't the rookie receiver that just made a goofy play. There was, like, nothing here where you're like, how did you lose?
Got to catch the ball. I mean,
And none of those interceptions are on Flacco.
Right.
Let's be clear, because a lot of people, Flacco. No.
No.
These are not on Flacco.
I saw
Neither
the
one
cries
of these are on Flacco.
for
Period.
Shador already. Already people have been messaging
come
me
on.
about it. Don't put this on Flacco. Carry on.
I mean, 31 of 45,
Justice for
290, a
Flacco.
touchdown, 2 picks that were not his fault. He was sacked twice. The sacks didn't come till late. I don't think they got to him until, one of these games, they're going to have to flush and forget with Baltimore on deck. But, like, anyone feel good about next
right
week?
off the top of the head, there's 4 or 5 drops, blatant drops.
Yes.
I mean, that puts him at 340, 350 with like 36 and 45. He can't throw the ball that much. That's why you got to get the running game going, you know. But still, in that situation, I think he played well. I mean, that doesn't look very good because of the 2 interceptions, but that was on those receivers. They got to catch the ball when it's right in their hands. I mean, I was taught that in junior high. If you touch it, you should catch it.
I want to ask you
And
guys
honestly,
something.
I don't think that Jerry, I mean, that's on, like you said, it's on the receivers, but like Jerry's supposed to be wide receiver 1.
He led the NFL in drops last year with 13.
And he's probably leading now.
Wide receiver 1 in that category.
The Browns are probably leading the league now in drops, for all I know.
I want to ask the 3 of you something. If you'd have told me a story going into this game, you said, hey, Dylan Sampson's going to have a good game. It's totally believable, right?
Totally.
The Browns have a stable at running backs. He's a kid. They don't have junk in the front. Did any one of you actually see Harold Fannin being this involved this early?
I'm sorry. Do we not remember our episode? What was it? Where I said Harold Fannin. I said that's the person I think is going to have a breakout, and that's who I'm excited to see. And you were like, no. That's who we like hope, not who we expect. And I was like, no,
Tell
this
him.
is who. Yeah.
Tell him, Leah. Tell him, Leah.
He
Clock
even
it. Clock it.
a direct snap on the first series.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That I didn't have.
You didn't see that one? The Wildcat.
That I will admit I didn't have that.
And he played well. There was the one play where Flacco was rolling to the sideline, and he had to adjust, and he kind of got free, and he was doing some good things out there.
Totally.
You could see Flacco going, go.
Right.
Because he was about, and then he lofted it right down. That was a big gain. So, yeah, Fannin, I think when they drafted him, led the nation. Everybody kind of, Bowling Green. But he had big games against Penn State, Texas A&M, and I think he's big in the plans. And when we said they didn't do much at wide receiver, they had that. They can move him as a wide receiver, and I think he's only going to be more involved.
Yeah.
What do you think that means for David Njoku? Just, big picture, but down the line.
David's a second weapon on this team. I mean, that's just a multiple weapon as far as down the season. I think as long as Stefanski's running this thing, this is what he wants, is a couple tight ends involved. And I think Fannin and Njoku make a nice tandem, for now and in the future.
Mm-hmm. We had a chance to talk to David, too, after the game, as, one of the veterans, one of the guys on this team that people like Fannin can learn from. He was pretty frustrated with the loss.
Man, it pissed us off, It got us real mad. And that's the mindset we're going to have coming into this next week. We're pissed off for greatness. You know what I mean? So we're going to work our ass off, and we're going to get back to it.
Pissed off for greatness.
Haven't heard that one before.
It's a good quote.
Yeah.
Good quote.
I mean, I think when we did talk to some of the other guys, Greg Newsome, he piggybacked off that they were like, we gave this game away, which this is what Mark is yelling about this entire podcast. Like, how did you lose this game? They're probably looking at the same thing, like, how did we lose this game?
Yeah.
And they're looking at those very series that you named, especially the one with 3 sacks back to back. Right. There's not even like a space in there. No. It's consecutive.
6 times. 6 yards each time.
Right, exactly. So I think they're looking at that same thing, like they're pissed, like, especially because they know what they have coming next week, right? You've got to try and get a win somewhere. And I always give the Browns and Bengals, and I always give them, split them. Like Bengals and Pittsburgh, I will split those. Like, okay, someone's going to lose, someone's going to win. But this one, you really needed to start off out of the gate, get a win. And that was something that they talked about all week long, that they wanted to set the tone for the season. And I don't think this is how they necessarily wanted to do it. I mean, it's not a terrible loss, right? Like, there was good things, like you said.
I think it's terrible in the sense of how of you walking away going, how'd they lose? And, that's the thing. I think I said this on one of our shows. We do so many shows. I said, if the Browns want to change the conversation, go win week 1.
Yeah.
Right? Because how many people have said, I don't know if they'll win a game in the first 6, or this team's junk, and you got Shador and Gabriel playing by Halloween. You go out and win game 1, changes everything at least for a week or 2, and they were so close.
When you hold Jamar Chase to 2 catches for 26 yards and 20 on one play, and it all the way around, there's just, you look at it, like you said, we can sit here all day. It comes down to drop passes and miss opportunities, but the defense did their job. If they played top 10 defense, this was almost better than 2 years ago. You didn't really feel like they were a top. This was a great effort because that's the most potent offense in the NFL last year. They scored 28 points a game, led the NFL, and to hold them basically to 2 touchdowns, I think it's just very unfortunate that it's a team game and kicking and receiving game cost them.
And that was something that I was talking to Lee about during the game. Like, you look at it, and even though I want to say Denzel only has him for 2 total tackles, he had that one play right on Jamar and just blocked that pass so beautifully. And I was talking to her like, he's just such a beautiful football player.
They went away from him.
Yeah, went away from him. I'm like, he's such a sound football player to the point where people really don't want to go to him. They don't want to target him. And you see exactly why, because he's clean, he does it right. And like you said, just piggyback off what you said, you have that strong defensive line. You have guys like Carson that are really showing out. And then, you got the secondary that's just as strong as well. So I do think it's going to be a good defense. But I also believe you can't get far in the season, and you definitely will not have a chance in the playoffs without having a sound offense, as we saw when we were at the wild card in Texas.
Yeah, blown out.
Yeah.
The defense looked good, and that, I guess, was one of the promising positives you could take away from the game. We weren't in the room for Myles Garrett's post-game press conference, but, Mark, there was something that stood out to you, right, that Myles had said?
I mean, he basically said, so what if we lost, it was what do you call it?
Well, wasn't there like a soundbite you cut from it?
Yeah, we did. Go ahead, fire. But, I mean, he was talking about, we lost a close one. We still lost, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no moral victories.
Keep your head up. We don't lose 2 in a row. You've got to, look at the film and get up off the canvas quick. To another division opponent, a good team who we're facing, and it's going to be very different styles. So we have to be able to prepare and look ourselves in the mirror very, very quickly, see what adjustments we need to make, and get right back at them, because those guys aren't slowing down, and neither can we.
What changed for the defense after that first drive? Miles, looked like you were dominant after that.
I mean, they have a chip plan. They have a plan for me, and we just got to figure it out and find a way to crack it open and then get me rolling. And I feel like once I can start to get my rhythm and find what works, it's really a snowball effect. And I was really inspired by the play of the other guys, making plays all across the field. Whether it was the front, it was the backers, and the DB is a little bit of everybody. So I'm just happy to be able to step up in those moments. But we gotta have more, and it's got to be quicker.
Do you feel that you guys are, in many ways, a pretty young team, and there might be a couple of growing pains, but the way that you played today seems like maybe encouraging for the future, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, losing is losing. It's not encouraging at all. So, anytime you step on this field, you're old enough to win. No one's going to make any adjustments just because you're a younger player, you're a rookie, you're a sophomore. So, those guys who came in and made plays for us, we're going to continue to lean on them, no matter the age, and I'll just continue to lift each other up. This is one game. We are very close. Learn from it. Win the turnover battle. We've got to get some turnovers of our own to match them, and I think that swings the game right there.
Can you take us through that 3-sack in a row sequence that you guys had?
It's hard, you kind of get into a zone, and it's hard to explain for myself. And then I feel like I kind of started a domino effect, and everybody else wanted to get in on the party. Zay, Mason, those guys started collapsing the pocket and getting busy themselves. So I'm happy to see them get rolling, and we just have to do a little bit sooner. They had a good plan, and it wasn't. We didn't appreciate how they were getting after our quarterback in our house, so we knew we had to step up. And like I said, we just have to do it quicker.
Well, final thoughts on the game?
He didn't appreciate them getting after the quarterback.
That is the point.
Final thoughts. I mean, it said it over and over. No, disgraceful loss on the lakefront.
You are rough. You were rough today.
You
are not playing with this team.
A loss is a loss. And it's like we're so used to it here with the Browns, finding ways to lose. And you want to think things will change, but until they do so, win these type of games, that's the narrative around the league. The Browns will be the Browns. And they found a way to lose today.
What's funny, like that you guys say that, is I look at the way that we're sit right now. You guys have been covering the Browns for a long, long, long time. Me and Lee have only been here since 23. And the first year we were here, they were really good.
Yeah.
Like that was
went to the playoffs. We're
which is great. Like, this team's great.
It's my 35th season.
Yeah, I'm like, what are they talking about? Then last year we're like, oh, okay, well, this is a little different. And this year we're like, be positive, guys. But it's like we're only in our third year covering the team where you guys have been through
seen the pain.
Y'all have just pain.
Y'all
pain
never even
everywhere.
heard it. No, remember I said can't be the worst opening day loss because of a guy named Dwayne Rudd?
Right.
Any of the youngins out there, go ahead and Google that one.
I was standing right next to Len Dawson when that happened in the Chiefs radio booth.
Crazy.
That was worse than this one, but this one was pretty bad. Guys, it's been fun gathering. We'll do this after every game. A lot of Sunday 1 o'clock kicks, so we don't have to worry about any late night shows.
Won't be too late.
Or Monday nighters or stuff like that. But it was fun to talk about. It was not fun to watch. Bengals beat the Browns 17-16. For Fred Greetham, Ashley Holder, Leah Doherty, I'm Mark Schwab. See ya!